candidates to come on up. Welcome to our big Sheriff's Forum here. Nice to see a nice crowd. You have to look at your name tags first.
Oh, yeah.
All right, my name is Lisa Murphy. I'm the chair of the Wadena County Republicans, and we're hosting this event tonight. We hope to inform everybody. And, okay, keep the microphone close. Hope to inform everybody on their decisions. We have the primary coming up August 11th, and 2 of these gentlemen will go on to the general election. So make sure you get out and vote August 11th. We're going to start the evening out with a prayer. Pastor Amos, oh, there you are. So if you could remove your hats or stand or whatever.
Yes, we would invite everybody to stand. We'll start this out right tonight. You bow your heads. Let's open this in prayer. Heavenly Father, we come before you today with gratitude because you are the one from which all ultimate authority comes. Your word declares in Romans 13 that governing authorities are your servants for our good, to reward what is right, to restrain what is evil, and to administer godly justice. So today, Lord, we seek more than just capable leaders. We ask for men and women of courage. Lord, that you'd raise up public servants who will fear God more than public opinion, who will pursue God-ordained truth over popularity, and who will never trade integrity for convenience. So Lord, all of these men standing up here, Lord, that you'd give them wisdom to discern what is right from wrong in our culture that often celebrates confusion instead of truth. Give them a backbone to stand firm when they are pressured to compromise for what's just. Father, we know that darkness is never overcome by ignoring it, and evil does not stop on its own. It must be confronted by men and women of conviction. And Lord, tonight, you'd help us determine through this process who can best stand in that role. Grant them clarity in difficult moments, compassion for the hurting, and strength for dangerous days that they'll face. And Father, we pray for those in this room, ourselves here, that you'd raise us in the courage to be citizens of conviction, not just spectators. May we engage with humility. May we speak the truth with grace. And may we pursue what is right even when it comes at a cost. Guard us, Lord, from deception. Guard us from division. And guard us from the temptation to demand comfort over character. Father, we thank you for the privilege to live in a nation with a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Help us never forget that those governments can stray, and the authority entrusted to these men can become either a shield for the innocent or a burden upon the people. Give them wisdom to wield it faithfully. Fill this room now with your Holy Spirit, and give us wisdom that only you can give. And may we wisely choose leaders who will stand against evil. And always remember that every badge and every office and every authority is ultimately accountable to you. We pray this now in the powerful name of Jesus. Amen.
Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. There's a flag there and there's a flag here. So, I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Tonight our host that will be emceeing tonight's forum is Curtis Joe. He works at KPR.
Yep, Delahunt Media.
Yep, Delahunt Media in Park Rapids, so you've probably heard him on the radio.
Stand up and take a bow.
Yeah. So now that we've got everybody seated and nobody wants to hear me anymore, so we'll turn it over to these guys.
All right, good evening, gentlemen. so for question number 1, in the order of who will be answering, it'll go Milo, Aaron, Brian, Corey, and Troy. You guys have 2 minutes for your, actually first off, we're gonna go with your opening remarks. So first off, Milo, go ahead please, 2 minutes.
First, I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight and braving the beautiful weather today. And I'd like to thank the Lord for giving us the opportunity to do this and come together. My name is Milo Scott. I've worked for the city of Wadena at the police department for 22 years, going on 23. I started out part-time as a deputy and was given the opportunity at the city of Wadena and have been faithful and loyal with the city of Wadena since then. During that time, I've held several positions with the police department. Been firearms, taser, instructors, field training officer for several years, a member of the Wadena Hubbard SWAT team and Lakes Area SWAT team, where I've held several positions also as an operator and as a sniper, and for a brief time as an assistant team leader. Before joining the Wadena Police Department, I lived in Alexandria, was born and raised in Alexandria. I worked for a company down there as a shift supervisor, and as a shift supervisor for several years before going to law enforcement school.
30 seconds.
She's watching. Yeah. No.
So, as sheriff, if I'm elected sheriff, I will stand for the United States Constitution. I've been in the military where I've learned valuable leadership skills and taken the oath of office several times to defend the Constitution. I believe in the Second Amendment wholeheartedly, and I believe in constitutional carry.
Thank you, Milo. Go ahead, Aaron.
Hello, everybody. As he said, thanks for being here tonight. We obviously are having an issue with the AC, so bear with us. Make sure that if you need to get some water, you do so. So I'm Aaron Schiller. I got 14 and a half years of law enforcement experience. I started in law enforcement in the small town of Eagle Bend when cops wanted to be cops, and it was hard to find a full-time job. It took me a little while to find where I needed to be, and I've worked in a variety of places in a variety of counties now, before landing back here full-time with the city of Wadena and part-time with the county. So my priorities in life are God, family, then work. I believe that those are the things that we're missing in our society and the things that form us and make good choices. As your sheriff, I want to focus on some things that we're missing. I first and foremost want to tell you that we have a great department, we have a great group of people, but we can make some stuff better. And we need to just polish some edges up and make those things happen, such as having a true 24-hour coverage, 365 days a year. I would be fiscally responsible for you guys, making sure that we spend the taxpayers' dollars where they need to be spent and how they need to be spent. Right now, we have a lot of things that we can look at to try and do better with that.
30 seconds.
I'd like to let you guys know that I'm a family man as well, and in my off time I staff for an organization called Hometown Hero Outdoors. With Hometown Hero Outdoors, we take military veterans, law enforcement, first responders out on hunting, fishing, outdoor recreation activities. Now with that being said, I tell you that because those people deserve the most in our society. So when it comes down to it, I hope you guys just remember that I'm a God-fearing man, and I want what's best for this county where I'm going to raise my family and stay.
Aaron. Go ahead, Brian.
All right, I will try to speak up so everybody can hear in the back. Again, thank you everybody for coming out. Thank you for the Republican group for hosting this. I'm glad someone was able to do it, to get all 5 of us in one spot for a change instead of onesie twosies here and there. I'm Brian Savaloya, like many of the other candidates, born, raised, and graduated from the Wadena area. I've been with the Sheriff's Office for over 19 years now. I actually just started my 20th year. I've held a variety of different positions in my time there, including K-9 and Sergeant of the Jail and Dispatch, and Sergeant of Patrol. For the last 11 years, I've been at a sergeant level with the Sheriff's Office, which has helped me with the administrative side of the Sheriff's Office, the day-to-day business and the budgeting side of it. So that's been a great career boost for me, so to speak, to know that side of the Sheriff's Office, because I'll be honest, coming from the patrol side, I did not understand it as much as I maybe should have at the time. So for the last 11 plus years, I have been in those roles and supervised some the critical areas of the Sheriff's Office. So again, thank you for coming,
30
and
seconds.
look forward to the questions that are coming here.
That's on.
Hello, my name is Corey Carr. Thank you all for coming out here tonight. Appreciate seeing all the kind faces out there. I was... Speak up louder? Okay. Is that good, Vic? Okay. Sorry. All right, I was lived in Wadena all my life. Wadena County all my life. Except for 10 years that I lived just on the west side of Wadena here, or my farm. Graduated Wadena City School, or Wadena Deer Creek School, and back in 1992. From there, I went on to Brainerd Community College. I went to school over there for a couple years over there, and then I came back to work for a while over in Wadena. I went back to school at Alec Tech, graduated there in 2006. I was part-time for since 1997. For cities of Burndale, Speaka, Monaga, and Wadena County Sheriff's Office. I worked for Wadena County Sheriff's Office for 23 years. I worked for the city of Burndale for 16 years. 13 of those years I was the chief of police, which I covered the budgets and I also was a school resource officer over there. And I love the kids, being around the kids all the time. It meant the world to me. Thank you.
Corey.
All right, I want to thank everyone for being here tonight, Republican Party for setting this up for us. I think this is great for everyone to get to know the candidates a little bit better. I'm Troy Wangsness, lived in Wadena County all my life, was raised here. My mom and dad raised my brother and I here. I raised my family here. My wife's family was raised here. I'm invested in Wadena County. I don't remember what year it was. What year did Mike become sheriff? 2007? 2006? I started with the Wadena County Sheriff's Office part-time. Before that, or during that, I worked part-time for the Burndale Police Department. Currently full-time with the Wadena County Sheriff's Office and part-time with the Wadena Police Department. I've held multiple roles with the Wadena County Sheriff's Office. Started out, like I said, part-time as boat and water deputy, setting up schedule for that, boat and water checks, different areas throughout the county. Moved into a more permanent role with the Sheriff's Office and got on the SWAT team. Was on the SWAT team for roughly 16 years. 7 or 8 of those years I held the assistant team lead role. K-9 with the county currently. Use of force instructor
30 seconds.
Not currently with the county, but I wear multiple hats, I'll say that. EMT, DNR instructor for 20 years, state fire warden. This last spring I became a wildland firefighter with the Nimrod office.
Thank you, Troy.
Thank you.
All right, fellas, now we will start the questions portion. Again, the order for this: Milo, Aaron, Brian, Corey, and Troy. Milo, you have the 90 seconds. The question is, you kind of answer this with your opening statement, but what experiences throughout your law enforcement career have prepared you to serve as sheriff of Wadena County? Please describe the leadership skills you have developed and how they will help you lead the sheriff's office.
Thank you. So, like I said in my opening statements, I started out my training in the Minnesota Army National Guard in 1990 when I enlisted in the National Guard. I earned valuable leadership skills there and was able to hone them. After that, I did my enlistment and got out, and then I went on to, as a supervisor at a manufacturing plant in Alexandria. After 9/11, I re-enlisted in the National Guard, where again I honed more of the leadership skills. In law enforcement, I've been a field training officer for new officers getting on the force in the past, an assistant team leader for a short time, and an instructor for several different disciplines in the police department. I'm also a member of my church board as a treasurer and secretary, which deals with the budgets all the time and documenting that and putting out the reports and that kind of stuff for the church.
15 seconds.
If I'm elected as sheriff, I will lead the department into the new generation.
Thank you, Milo. Do you want me to repeat the question? What experiences throughout your law enforcement career have prepared you to serve as sheriff of Wadena County? Please describe the leadership skills you have developed and how they will help you lead the sheriff's office.
So, like I said before, I've got over 14 years of law enforcement experience. I'm a use of force instructor, a taser instructor, a drone pilot, a crisis negotiator. I'm also a manager, or I manage people with my hometown hero outdoors that I told you guys a little bit about. So I both manage staff and members with that. I've worked in a restaurant before where I had to manage budgets and deal with hourly payroll to be able to effectively have cash flow and make money, not lose money. I've worked as an FTO in the past as well with other departments. I believe that I'm the best candidate for this because I've got longevity in the department now. I've worked a variety of places. As I said before, when I started out, I had to bounce around part-time different places. So I got to work in several different counties before I landed back here at home. Because I worked all them counties, I got to take a little bit from each place and bring it back with me so I can see outside the box and not just what we've always had here before. So I can bring that into my professional environment and try to do better.
$50 seconds. Did you want something? You good? Okay. Thank you, Aaron. Brian, do you want me to repeat the question?
I think I'm good.
Okay.
So my leadership experience started kind of unexpectedly in 2010 when the tornado hit Wadena. Everybody kind of had to get outside of their comfort zone. Obviously, for those of you that lived in Wadena, you were way outside your comfort zone, but I was thrust into a leadership role during that. We had multiple agencies coming in from around the state to help us out, which I still remain thankful for. And I was put into a role to lead and manage them in 2010. In 2015, there was an opening for a supervisory spot in the sheriff's office. I applied for that and was hired as the jail administrator and PSAP supervisor for the sheriff's office, which I held until 2023. There was a lot to learn in there, and I'm thankful that I had that role because the jail and dispatch are obviously crucial areas of the sheriff's office. Since then, I have supervised the patrol division, which includes investigations, court security, canine, emergency management, and all of that. So I've kind of done a little bit of everything in the sheriff's office, with the exception of obviously sheriff and chief deputies. So I feel that my experiences make me ready to go on day one. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
My prior leadership and experience was 13 years for the chief of police in Ferndale, at which time I did all the budgets. Almost every year I came in under budget, so I did pretty good on that part of it. Also, my leadership has to do with policy making. While I was sitting up as chief of police in Ferndale, made quite a few policy changes over there. I also spent quite a few times at court meetings, which we talk about different strategies for court, different things that work better for court. I also was on the child protection team meetings, where we discussed what best steps for the kids, making things better for them. Also to reunite them with the family if possible. That was a major thing. Also, I was being the only person working as the chief over in Burndale. I made sure all of the supplies are filled.
15 seconds.
And just made sure everything was filled up, ready to go for the next guy. Thank you.
Thank you, Corey.
A couple of things I mentioned already. The assistant team lead for the SWAT team. Use of force instructor. I've done field training for some of the newer guys. Scheduling and canine. A lot of these things you are making the decisions on your own without direction from a supervisor. So especially with canine, you know, if I let my supervisor know that I'm going out of the county, when I show up on scene, I take the scene over. The scene's now mine, and I dictate what happens with the dog. So I think that all of these things combined have given me a very well-rounded look, and starting from basically part-time, working myself up to where I am right now, a very well-rounded look at the sheriff's office. Thank you.
All right. Question number 2, and the order for this one will be Aaron, Brian, Corey, Troy, and Milo. So Aaron, the Wadena County Sheriff's Office has earned a strong reputation for professionalism. Deputy retention averages approximately 11.5 years, compared with a statewide average of about 5 years, and the county jail has maintained excellent inspection scores from the Minnesota Department of Corrections, scoring an average of 96% over the last 20 years. What would you do to preserve these strengths while continuing to improve the department under your leadership?
So what you just said is that we've done well with the department, and I don't disagree. I said that in my opening statement, that we had a lot of great guys that already work in this department, and it takes an army to build an empire. So without having all these great people, we wouldn't be able to keep the stuff that we already have going for us. We need to keep going forward. We need to work with the deputies, work with both people in the jail and in the courthouse to keep a good, strong base going. We need to move forward with some of that stuff, but one of the issues that we're looking at is with our jail, we are aging, and it is something to keep in mind that it is something that's going to have to be updated in the future or rebuilt. And it's something that is going to cost a lot of money if we keep going the way we are. So we do have some options to look at that, and I'm sure we'll have more time to discuss that as we go on. But one of the ideas I have to continue that would be for us to go to a 72-hour holding facility rather than a full-time jail. It would lower our footprint in the county. It would cost us less money to operate. And we would house out when people come to sit their time. So that's something that would help us maintain those spectacular records that we're having. But the biggest thing falls back on the training and the retention of our people. We've built a good base, we just need to keep it going at this point.
Thank you, Aaron.
Can I clarify something on that last one?
Clarification for?
Yeah.
30 seconds, yep.
Just real quick on the 72-hour holding facility or a full rebuild of the jail. If we go to a 72-hour holding facility, that facility still needs to be staffed. So we still need to have the staff there. We're not going to save anything there, and we still need transport deputies to move these inmates from county to county, which also is another cost, and it is not free to house those inmates in another county. So I just wanted to make sure that was clarified.
Thank you, Brian. And now, Brian, do you want to answer the question? What would you do to preserve these strengths while continuing to improve the department under your leadership?
So the numbers in the jail, I'm pretty proud of over the last 20 years. Aaron is correct. It is an aging facility, but and you don't have to raise your hands. But those of you in the room that live in a house that's older than 1988, are you just going to keep upkeeping it, or are you going to tear it down and build a new one? Over the last 20 years, we've made, I don't want to say subtle, but necessary improvements throughout the jail from top to bottom. Every fixture in there is new, the flooring is new, the plumbing is new. So we do that as we're able to keep that building going. It owes us nothing right now, so that's something I'm very proud of over the last 20 years, that we've been able to keep that operational and not put the burden of a new building on Wadena County. As for the deputy retention, I think that speaks for itself. You have to make Wadena County a place that people want to work. Everybody needs to have a voice, and they have to feel wanted and respected. And I think that will accomplish the goal itself. Thank you.
Or do you want me to repeat the question? Yep. What would you do to preserve these strengths while continuing to improve the department under your leadership?
Most of what Ryan already said. It's an aging building, but it's been remodeled with the last couple of years. I don't think, I think, you know, it seems like every couple of years they want to do a study on how to raise it up higher. That study has been done about 3 times, I think. I think, you know, just keep the relationship going, continue the strength of the sheriff's office is by training, having good staff, keep it uniformed, keep it friendly in there, be kind to everybody. I think that goes a long way, just being kind. Also, I would do more training with them, make sure they're well trained, and also have the staff make sure that the inmates are getting up in the mornings, making their beds, doing stuff that normal people in society would do to keep that going. I think it's important for them to be rehabilitated in jail, and that's one step of doing it. Also, bring more people back to the SDS program. I think that that was a big help for Wadena County residents. Thank you.
Thank you, Corey. Troy, do you want me to repeat the question? What would you do to preserve these strengths while continuing to improve the department under your leadership?
So,
One of the things I've learned in the past is an employee that is appreciated will stay with you. If they've got the equipment and they feel valued, they're going to stick with you. As for the jail, I think a lot of the things that Brian talked about is keeping the jail up to code. DOC comes in, they look at it, and they see things that need to be done. And a lot of that stuff is things that we are somewhat required to do. And some of it is also things that just plain need to be done. The jail, I started out dispatching and jailing in there when there was one person doing it. It is a facility that does need attention. I don't know if that will be for the next sheriff to look at or a sheriff down the line. But it is something that we need to look at, securing funds and possibly some way to completely remodel or build new.
Thank you, Troy. Hello?
I think by appreciating your employees, it goes a long ways. It keeps the employees, it gives them they want to come to work that way. And the jail and working down in the jail and dispatch, it's a different kind of environment. You're locked in there with inmates that have offended, and you have no way out of it during your shift. You're in there, you're working your shift. A lot of times, I've heard from several dispatchers and jailers that they don't get breaks, and they don't feel appreciated because of that. You know, if they don't bring their food with for lunch or meals, and one of the officers is busy and they can't go out and get food for them, they're kind of stuck with no food for the rest of their shift. And it's 11, 12-hour shifts. So just appreciating the deputy or the jailers and dispatchers, showing them you appreciate them. As leadership in the jail, it goes a long ways to show the employees by giving them the break so they can go outside, get fresh air.
15 seconds.
Training's a huge thing. The more you can train somebody, the better off you're going to be, and the better your department's going to be. And as far as the jail, I believe we have to do something that's fiscally responsible to the taxpayers, and something that,
thank you, Milo,
in the future can be.
All right, question number 3 deals with budget and taxpayer stewardship, and the order of the guys answering this time will be Brian, Corey, Troy, Milo, and Aaron. The Sheriff's Office operates with an annual budget of approximately $4 million. About 79.83% of the budget is allocated to salaries and benefits, while approximately 3% is dedicated to squad vehicles. As sheriff, what would be your top budget priorities if faced with rising costs? Where would you look for efficiencies or savings without compromising public safety or employee effectiveness? Brian.
Those numbers kind of speak for themselves with the sheriff's budget right now. 80% of it is personnel. You start cutting personnel, that affects public safety. You start cutting squad cars, we can't get to the incident. That affects public safety. My goal in the first months of my term, if elected, would be to look at every single contract that the sheriff's office has. And by contract, I mean vendors that provide us services. We have right around 26 vendors right now that provide us services that have locked into an agreement with the current sheriff. I'm not saying they're bad agreements, but I think they're worth looking at. All contracts, all vendors, anybody that we deal with, I think it's time for another sit down to see where we can save money so we don't have to compromise public safety. It could be $100 here, it could be $10,000 on the next one, but I think everything needs to be looked at, and that's how I would prioritize public safety by not looking into the meat of the budget and cutting staff and essential equipment out of it right away. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Corey?
Like Brian said, you have to look at through the contracts and all that other stuff. As far as salaries, that's not on the sheriff, that's on the commissioners that place that. I believe that, you know, look at the squad cars, maybe we can go out another year with them. I'm not sure, we'll have to look at that, but just have to look through the contract, see where we can cut, if we can't cut anything. Keep it as low as possible, and not raise the taxes at all. I really hate to lose anyone on the department because it's, once you get them on, it's hard to replace them, get them back on again. Years ago, almost every small department used to have a police officer on. So at that time, it was okay to have one deputy on at the time. You always have the backup of a small police department. Those police departments no longer have full-time officers that work every night like they used to. So we have no backup. Right now, the only backup is your other deputy most of the time. So that's going to be a public safety risk if we lose that. I think.
15 seconds.
I think that you know, putting more deputies on, it's not a good thing either. I think we have enough on. Maybe hire some part-timers or something like that to keep it low. Thank you.
Thank you, Corey. Troy? Yeah. As sheriff, what would be your top budget priorities if faced with rising costs? Where would you look for efficiencies or savings without compromising public safety or employee effectiveness?
Okay. I think one of the main things, like Brian said, is the vendors. 26 of them, right, Brian? That would be a big thing. Just go through those, look at the contracts. I think there's possibly some of them that we maybe don't utilize as much that we could possibly cut. Equipment, squads, computers, everything that goes along with the cars. I would look at possibly, if we can, running those things longer. I know that there comes with some risk with doing that, with maintenance on them, everything, that there may be more maintenance, but if we could run things longer, it would help out the budget. One of the big things would be the budget, and going through it and see where we can take a few dollars out here and there and maybe cut a few things, and try and make it work. So.
15 seconds.
That's everything I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Troy. Milo.
So my first goal, if I'm elected sheriff, would be to go over the budget and put pen to paper, see where we can make cuts, where we can save money. You know, there might not be places that can be cut, but we need to look at it. We need to make sure that it's sustainable for the future. We can't look at stuff tomorrow and do a knee-jerk reaction on stuff. We need to make sure it's sustainable. As far as equipment goes, Wadena County is probably one of the best equipped counties around the area. The sheriff's done a very good job with that. And if I'm elected sheriff, I plan to keep that technology part of it up to speed. As far as vehicles, there's savings that can be done there. We're switching over to Tahoes from the Explorers. Yes, they're bigger, they're more capacity and stuff, but they do cost a lot more money. So that'd be one option that a person can look at saving money. Thank you.
Thank you, Milo. Aaron?
Can I have you re-ask the question?
You bet. As sheriff, what will be your top budget priorities? If faced with rising costs, where would you look for efficiencies or savings without compromising public safety or employee effectiveness?
So number one, obviously, as everybody has already said, we need to revise the budget. We need to look at it. But with that being said, I don't want to compromise your safety as a citizen, and I don't want to compromise the deputy's safety either. So that means that we may not be able to cut budgets down. We may not be able to always reduce that number more than what we'd like, but we can definitely look at it. Safety is always first. Safety is first for you, and it's safety first for our deputies. We also need to prioritize our training. Our training is important. We've mandated many things throughout the state of Minnesota now, especially in recent times, to try to be trained better, to try to make sure that we can look at all circumstances and all instances. It doesn't prepare us for every instance in life, but we do the best we can. With our staffing, the reason we have retention right now is because we're finally starting to get better wages. I know that the numbers may say that we had this great staffing, but we have lost people due to wages in neighboring counties. Now that we're back up into a better place, we are able to keep people, and we need to maintain that. If we're not able to maintain that, people will go to neighboring counties. Like I said in my opening statements, I worked a lot of places trying to find a job. People wanted to be cops when I started out. People don't want to be cops anymore. We need to have the next generation to come in behind us. And to be able to maintain people, we need to be able to pay them. And if we can't pay them, they will go someplace that they can. We have good equipment. That was a good thing that we have.
Question number 4 is constitutional responsibilities. And the order you guys will be answering this time is Corey, Troy, Milo, Aaron, and Brian. So we'll start off with Corey. As sheriff, you will swear an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States and the laws of the state of Minnesota. How will that oath guide your decision-making when faced with difficult legal or constitutional questions?
I believe the decisions I'll make, I'll go maybe talk to the county attorney and ask her what her opinion is on it. As far as upholding the Constitution, I believe in the Constitution. I believe in people's rights. I will not allow my deputies, if I become sheriff, to violate somebody's rights without punishment. I believe that it's a constitutional right, and I think everyone should enjoy that. If it's being violated, I want to make sure it's taken care of properly, professionally. As far as like the Second Amendment, I believe in the Second Amendment. Nothing's going to change in the way the Sheriff's Office handles the Second Amendment. Permits will be given out. Make sure the Fourth Amendment is not violated to anybody. I'll just uphold the Constitution. Thank you.
Thank you, Corey. Yep. How will that oath guide your decision-making when faced with difficult legal or constitutional questions?
So the Constitution of the United States is the backbone on which the United States was originally built on. I don't feel that it should be infringed upon in any way. Second Amendment, I am 100% pro Second Amendment. Any type of legal questions that I would have for the county, I would of course consult the county attorney. As far as anything that would happen within the county as far as deputies or any type of thing like that, there needs to be accountability. And there's ways to do that, but I would speak with the individual and go from there. But I believe that we as law enforcement professionals need to set a standard for everyone in the area, not only neighboring agencies, but everyone that we work with. Thank you.
Thank you, Troy. Milo?
Like I said in my opening statements, I took my first oath of office when I was 17 years old when I joined the Minnesota National Guard. I took my oath of office again after 9/11 when I re-enlisted in the National Guard. And then I took it again when I became a law enforcement officer. So my standing on the Constitution was strong back then, and so it's only gotten stronger. I believe in the Second Amendment. I believe in constitutional carry. I believe that government should not tell anybody that you cannot exercise your rights without due process. I don't believe in red flag laws, and I don't believe the counties either should be charging people to exercise their rights to carry concealed. I believe it should be a constitutional carry state. If there's issues with that, with any of my officers, it will be dealt with. Like I said, I do not support any violations of the Constitution. Thank you.
Thank you, Milo. Aaron, do you want me to repeat it?
The Constitution is there to protect us from tyranny. We have the Constitution in place, and we set these rights there for everybody. And the oath that we would take in office is the ultimate oath for us. You need to proceed with integrity. We need to proceed legally and within the constitutional walls. If we were to violate those walls, and we have stuff in place, such as our body cameras and different stuff like that, where we can maintain and we can watch and make sure that our deputies and our officers are doing what they're supposed to do out there. We have training set forth, again, where we do yearly on different stuff. We need to continue looking into training and making sure our officers and deputies are within the legal constitutional rights. If somebody were to violate those, we need to make sure we hold them to a higher standard. We need to make sure that everybody feels safe, and those rights were put in place for that. As the others have said, Wadena County has been a sanctuary Second Amendment county, and that would continue under my watch as well. I continue to believe in the constitutional carry as well, and we have many different constitutional rights that are important. Every one of them stands an important part of our day-to-day.
Thank you, Aaron. Brian?
Like everyone that's sitting up here, 19 years ago, I swore an oath to the Constitution to uphold that every day since. I don't want to call them safeguards, but if we violate that, I think Troy maybe mentioned the Fourth Amendment, there's court processes for that. Nobody wants to make case law. We want to make sure that we're doing it the right way the first time. If we make case law, it means we violated someone's constitutional rights. A real life example in Wadena County, 2021, Line 3 came through the northern part of our county. I was tasked with overseeing the field operations of that, but what that meant was I also had to protect the First Amendment rights of those demonstrators to allow them to do their peaceful protests until it crossed the line, and we had to take action on that. So everybody's constitutional rights are safe. If there are laws passed that don't meet the constitutional smell test, I think we need to have a serious conversation with our local elected leaders, our local attorneys, and see what we can do about the enforcement of those, instead of them just getting crammed on us and we have to deal with it. I think we need to look at everyone to make sure it passes the smell test for constitutionality. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Question? Hello, hello. There we go. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Question number 5 is about the first 100 days. And the order you guys will be answering is Troy, Milo, Eric, Brian, and Corey. So first off will be Troy. If elected sheriff, what are your top priorities during your first 100 days in office?
So we kind of went over a little bit of this. I think the biggest thing is going to be the budget. Person's going to have to really delve into that and give it a good look, and that is going to take a significant amount of time. The other thing is going to be like the vendors, like Brian was saying, looking at basically the overall office in general. It's going to be somebody not coming from a supervisory position. It's going to be a lot to learn, but I'm willing to learn it. It will be time consuming, but I think that I know Sheriff Carr has told me that he would be on speed dial, so I can call him anytime. Yeah, and that would be, it would basically be budget, looking that over and seeing what we can change in that and what we can make better and possibly do without. So, thank you.
Thank you, Troy. Milo?
In my first 100 days in office, I'll set goals that are attainable and that show accountability to the taxpayers of the county. First goal would be to go over the budget and see where we can save money for the taxpayers of the county. Second part would be increased response or decreased response time. Right now, it could be half hour, 45 minutes response time, and my plan is to improve response time by changing schedules, not drastically, but having better coverage, more coverage to the taxpayers of the county. And that would include special events with the county, so that there's deputies out in the county and intermingling with others in the county. And the third goal I would have that's attainable in that first 100 days would be to work on the clearance rate of crimes in the county. 4 years ago, 5 years ago, we had a clearance rate of about 90%. Now we're down to about 76%. I believe we can do better than that, and I believe that by setting attainable goals, we can do that through training and...
Thank you, Milo. Aaron?
In my first 100 days, one of the things that we obviously have all talked about is we definitely need to look at our budget. That's a no-brainer, and we all have to do that. But beyond that, I believe strongly in the 24/7, 365-day coverage. That's something that I've been feeling very strong about, and I've been very vocal about with everybody. That when you call, somebody should be on duty. We shouldn't have to wake you up and have you come out. I would also like to see us have better community relations. And that doesn't mean that we have bad community relations right now, but I'm a big advocate for community policing. And I believe that there's no reason why we can't stop by when we see you out in your yard. We can't stop at the schools or play kickball with them at lunch and have better relationships with the youth of our environment. People only see us on their worst days, so let's give people a reason to see us on their good days as well. I would work with the staff that are already there and try to make any kind of changes and look at our environment. Again, it takes an army to build an empire. So that means that everybody here is already important. It's important to work with the community and the staff that are around to try to make the best possible environment so we can be successful going into the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron. Brian?
In the first 100 days, I don't know that it would take this long, but as a new sheriff, my goal would be to sit down with every single staff member individually, get their thoughts, give them a voice, see what's working, see what's not. Can you implement everything? Probably not, but give every staff member a voice. Then we also have to get outside of our own office. We have to meet with our both appointed and elected department heads within the county that we work with every day. See what has been working, what hasn't been working, what needs to get fixed. We need to meet with our cities. If there's been some strife with the sheriff's office in the past, there's going to be a new sheriff one way or the other. We need to figure out what those strifes are so we can work together with our cities. I think those are all very attainable in the first 100 days, and then working, say, the next 100 days to put some of those ideas and things that we've learned from those meetings into effect. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Corey?
My plan for the first 6 months is probably do nothing. I'm just gonna sit back and relax. No, I'll be doing stuff. I'm not gonna make much changes when I come in there for about 6 months in. I'll talk to the staff and see what we can do to improve the sheriff's office. Right now, I believe the sheriff's office is well oiled. I don't think much changes need to be done with it. It's a really good place to work, I guess. Probably go around and talk to all the chiefs, see what we can do to improve training together. Right now, we don't have any training that we do together. Just build a relationship with that and see if we can get more training with other departments. A lot of times that's our backup if we have to go in a building or something. It'd be nice to know that everyone's on the same page. But other than making any drastic changes the first 100 days, I'm just making notes, see what I can do to improve it. Thank you.
Thank you, Corey. Question number 6 is about department leadership. Leadership is about earning trust and building teamwork. How would you unite deputies, corrections officers, dispatchers, and civil staff behind a common vision while maintaining high morale and accountability? And it will go Milo, Brian, Troy, Aaron, Corey.
So first thing I would do would have a meeting with them and know that they're important. Let them know that. Let them voice their concerns. Let us know what they want changed or what they need, and kind of go from there. Morale's a huge thing. If you don't have morale, you don't have workers that are going to perform the job, the tasks that are needed to be done. So whether it's off-duty type stuff, working together, softball, whatever it may be, to get some teamwork together and camaraderie, and go from there. Thank you.
Thank you, Milo. Brian? Sorry, I didn't do the order. I didn't make it up anyway.
That'd be great.
Could you go with the question?
Yes, sir, you bet. How would you unite deputies, corrections officers, dispatchers, and civilian staff behind a common vision while maintaining high morale and accountability?
So I think this ties in with the last question and my first 100-day goals. Like Milo said, see what's working, see what's not. Don't promise them the world, because obviously you can't change everything, especially if it's only not working for one person. We'll try to make it work, of course, but see what's working for the office as a whole. And then keeping the morale up. We got to be real careful with morale, because everybody in this room, sometimes we have a bad day, and if we bring that to work, does that mean the morale's in the toilet? Not necessarily. If it's widespread, sure, we definitely got to look at that, because like Milo said, if the morale's down, nobody's going to want to come do the job. And as far as uniting them behind a common goal, if after those first 100 days and we were able to set our goals, if we define clear goals that are attainable and achievable, I think we can get staff behind it, as long as they have input, as long as they have a say, and there's accountability at the end of it if we don't meet those goals. So I think it's very doable, and I think we're doing it now. So
50
we can
seconds.
continue that. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Troy?
Okay. I think I touched on it a little bit earlier. Let them know they're appreciated. The jobs we do, a lot of times we do not see that. Talk to them. Listen to what they have to say. Kind of like meeting with them. Do it in a more, instead of in the office, maybe in a more personal space. Stop by their house, talk to them there. Talk to them out on the street when you see them, something like that. Work beside them. I think that is a big thing. If the people you work with see you working beside them, they will work harder for you. Do things together. We're all working towards a common goal. We all work together on a daily basis. And it's kind of like the five of us up here have talked that, before this journey started, we're friends. We're gonna be friends through this journey, we'll be friends afterwards, because we'll all be working together even after this is over with. So, thank you.
Thank you, Troy. Aaron?
So I'm a big advocate of an open door policy. I think I've already said that before in some of my statements, both for the community, but in this case we're talking about staff. We need to be able to talk to all our staff and be able to listen to them, give them a voice, and let them be heard. We need to work together to try to find common goals and what's going to be best for our environment. We're not always going to agree, and we're not always going to be able to change things, but at least we can let them know that they're heard. The best leaders are going to lead from the top and the front and by example. They're going to show their staff what they can do and that they can do the same job that they're asking them to do it. So as the sheriff, I would plan to try to be able to operate in all the positions within the sheriff's office. I've worked as a jailer and as a dispatcher. I've worked as a transport deputy, and I've worked in the courts. I've obviously worked on the road as well. So I've done most of those positions already. I'm confident that I could show them that I can still do that job and that I could lead by example for them. We need to work as a team, and we need to give credit where it's due. When somebody does well, we need to still recognize them. It doesn't mean they always need an award or need a ribbon, but they need you to tell them that they did a good job. Sometimes give them an attaboy, and that makes a big difference. It makes people feel appreciated and feel like you actually care
15
about them.
seconds.
So we just need to remember that we're all human and that we still need that sometimes, even though we're in our adult age at this time. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Aaron. Corey?
I believe it's a lot like a marriage. The main thing is just listen to them. Listen to their concerns, and acknowledge that their voice means something. Also be appreciative of them. Be nice, be kind to them. Listen to their improvements, what they feel that might make the jail a better place to work at. I think all the other guys have said the same thing already. Just main thing is just listen to them, appreciate them. Thank you.
Thank you, Corey. All right, gentlemen. Now that is the end of the questions. Now it will be your time to do the closing remarks. And we will go the opposite of what we started. So it'll be Troy, Corey, Brian, Aaron, and Milo. What's that? Milo, or sorry, Troy, closing statements, please. 2 minutes.
So again, I want to thank everybody for being here. If I have a privileged opportunity to be elected as the next sheriff of Wadena County, I will work tirelessly to listen to everyone, take that back to the office. If you have comments, questions, concerns, that's one of the things I'm good at doing is listening and taking that back and applying that to things in the office. It's, this has been a very, there I go, Tyler.
You're good, brother.
It's been a lot of fun. And to see the appreciation that people have when you put yourself out there is, I notice it, and I appreciate it a lot. So, thank you.
Thank you, Troy. Corey.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for coming out here. Appreciate seeing all the kind faces out there. If I become elected sheriff, I will do what I can to protect your rights. I'll be serving you as your servant. You guys will be electing me, and I will support you in whatever I can do. I will make sure that when I try to raise your taxes at all, be fair, and I'll have a direct line. If you need me, you can call me anytime. Thank you.
Thank you, Corey. Brian.
I don't know if it's any cooler in the back, but if it's not, thank you for bearing with us up here. Thank you for being here, like everybody else has said. I hope this was informational for everybody. I think we can all agree up here, all 5 of us, that we want the voters to make an informed decision. That's what I'm asking of you. I want you to look at all of us, all of our qualifications, and I want you to choose the best candidate to move on to the November election. As I stated before, I have worked in many areas of the sheriff's office, and I truly feel that I am ready on day one. This isn't a decision I made lightly. It's a big decision because there's a lot of responsibility that come with earning your trust. So yeah, if I didn't feel I was ready, I can promise you I would not be sitting up here in front of you asking for your support. So once we end tonight, this obviously ends this one, but obviously all of us will still be around, out and about in the community, so please ask questions. If you need clarification on anything from any of us, please get that, because that's what we want you to do, is make the informed decision and make the best decision for the future of the Wadena County Sheriff's Office. So again, thank you all for coming out and for listening to all of us.
Thank you, Brian. Aaron?
So as we all said, it's excruciatingly hot. So we can all blame Cody, and he's in the back. We'll all turn around, and all the uniforms will turn around, and you guys can all have your turn. I appreciate every one of you guys for coming out here to be better informed. I appreciate that you guys came out here because you care enough to try to make the best decision possible. You have 5 good candidates up here. Not good, great. So you guys have a tough choice to make here in a month. I believe that I am the best suited for you. I have longevity behind me, so I plan to come in and do the best job I can. This is where I was born and raised. This is where I'm going to raise my family. I want what's best for not only the taxpayers, but myself. I put God, family, and then work. I believe that we need to keep that with us. I hope that we can get a better coverage and we can just polish up some stuff to make us what we're already good, great. I promise to be fiscally responsible for you guys, and no matter who you guys support, just make sure that you come out on August 11th. Too many people have given too much through their military sacrifices and through everything else for that right to vote. So it's very important. And I think every one of you guys have already displayed that by showing up tonight. You've already taken that step forward. But make sure that you spread that in your community. Make sure you tell other people what's going on. And make sure you direct them to any one of us so we can answer the questions. Make an informed decision. And we hope to see you guys in November. Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron. Milo?
I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. If elected as your sheriff, I will set goals that are attainable and that the public will know about. And you guys will have public meetings, we'll have open discussions like this throughout the years, so that people can come in, they can ask questions, they can show their support, they can give you the attaboy if they're happy with the coverage you're getting, so that we know as law enforcement what we can do better for you guys. We're voted into office by you. We're there to work for you, and we're there to uphold the Constitution and to protect you guys from tyranny and anything that comes down from the state or federal government that is not constitutional. So as you head home tonight, I ask that God keeps a hand on you and keeps you safe. And thank you again for coming out tonight.
Thank you, Milo.
I'd like to thank all our candidates and everybody that came out in this lovely warm weather we're having. Just remember this day in January. It'll help. But thank you for all coming out. Make sure you get out to vote on August 11th. Actually, early voting starts now. So you can actually go into the courthouse and vote early. You probably received a ballot in the mail. I did. The candidates do have some signs back there. Milo didn't bring his because he didn't get the email, but get a hold of Milo and he'll get you a sign if you need it. But I think these guys are probably willing to stick around for a little bit, answer some questions that you have. And the Wadena County Republicans meets right here on the 4th Tuesday of every month. So we'd like to invite you to come. We have regular guest speakers. We have the Sheriff's Department in here frequently to come give us an update on what's happening. We have State Representative Mike Weiner sitting right back there right now. If you have any questions for him, I'm sure he'd love to answer them. He's running for Senate right now for our district. Yep. Oh yeah. We are live. We live stream this, and this whole event will be available on our YouTube page. It's Wadena County Republicans at Yahoo.
YouTube.
At YouTube. Sorry, I'm hot. At YouTube, it's all one word, all small letters. So Wadena County Republicans on the YouTube. That's our YouTube channel. So you can watch this, you can share it, so other people that didn't make it here tonight can watch it. So I'd like to thank everybody. Make sure you pay your tabs, tip your bartenders. Yeah, if you guys could stick around and answer some questions, that'd be great. Thank you all.
Right.